news this hour. Confusion at PP headquarters as police fires tear gas to disperse rioting supporters. President Tinubu orders swift rescue of abducted KB schoolgirls. Police interrogate mother after fire kills 2 children in River State. ASU warns of nationwide university shutdown as negotiation stalls. On the foreign scene, aid agencies say more shelters supplies needed in Gaza as winter rains raise fears of more death. I'm Ifechukwu with the news. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has directed troops of Operation Fansan Yama to intensify effort to secure the release of students abducted from Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, MAGA, in Danko Wasagu local government area of Kebbi State. The COAS gave the directive on Monday during an operational tour of Kebbi State. Addressing frontline commanders and troops, General Shaibu charged them to conduct intelligence-driven operations and maintain relentless day and night pursuit of the abductors. The COAS also met with local vigilantes and hunters, describing them as critical partners in the operation. He urged them to leverage their knowledge of the terrain in collaboration with troops to locate and neutralize the criminal element. Gunmen attacked the school on Monday morning and kidnapped 25 female students during the raid. The police spokesperson in Kebbi State, Nafiu Kotarkoshi, said the school's vice principal, Hassan Makuku, was killed during the attack, while a security guard, Ali Shehu, sustained gunshot injuries to his right hand. Also, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the swift rescue of the female student abducted from Government Girls Secondary School in Maga, Kebbi State. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made this known in a statement. He said President Tinubu has condemned the attack and reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to protecting all Nigerians, especially school children. He said security and intelligence agencies have been issued clear directive to locate, rescue, and safely return the student and to ensure that the perpetrators face justice. He said the federal government will not relent until this objective is achieved. Meanwhile, Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris has assured parents of the schoolgirls abducted from the Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School in Maga that efforts are underway to rescue their children. The governor stated this on Monday after visiting Maga, where the incident occurred, and holding a closed-door meeting with security agencies, traditional rulers, and parents of the abducted students.
The parents that their children were being abducted, and we give them confidence, we give them our words that we'll do everything possible to ensure that their children are being rescued. And we also assure them that let them have confidence in us, and we'll make sure that the security agencies will do everything possible to do the needful. That is the essence of our coming to Maga, to see our people and also to give them confidence and to give them words of encouragement.
Well, reacting to the abduction, the PDP and the African Democratic Congress condemned the attack. PDP National Publicity Secretary Ini Ememobong said the incident shows the alarming rise in insecurity across the country. He said the federal government has preferred the politicization of governance over the protection of citizens. Ememobong said the government must accept responsibility for its failure to secure lives and property. Also, ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi said the party has repeatedly warned the federal government to confront insecurity with seriousness and urgency. He said the abduction must not become a repeat of the Chibok girls saga of 2014. He also said a government that cannot secure its schools cannot claim credibility on its promise to protect Nigerians. In the meantime, in response to rising banditry, the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has asked the people of Katsina State who are adopting peace agreement with bandits to make sure the agreements do not give the bandits any right to attack neighboring communities. The Emir said this during his tour of communities recently attacked by bandits in Bagwai. and Shanono local government areas of Kano State. He told them to ensure the gunmen do not cross into other states to cause mayhem. The monarch also praised the Kano State government for taking proactive measures to stop bandits from entering the state.
The governor has provided resources. They can see already the movement of the army and the police in this area. And we'll also encourage them to use their vigilantes to help protect their villages. And we urge the people of Katsina, when they make peace with bandits, to ensure that that peace does not include the right to attack neighboring communities and have a safe haven. We pray to Allah to bring peace to our lands, and we will continue our best working with the government to ensure that peace is maintained in this state.
In another development, terrorist group Islamic State West Africa Province fighters say they have killed a Brigadier General M. Uba following the ambush of a convoy of soldiers and operatives of the Civilian Joint Task Force in Borno State. The terrorists ambushed the troops on Friday at Damboa Road along Wajiroko in Borno when they were transporting some military equipment. The ISWAP fighters reportedly opened fire on the military convoy along the road. At least 17 military motorcycles were seized by the ISWAP fighters, while 2 CJTF operatives and 2 soldiers were killed during the gun battle. Following the ambush, there were reports that Uba had been abducted by the insurgents. However, the army spokesperson Onyechi Anile denied the report on Saturday. However, Reuters reports that the terrorist group killed the military general after he was captured. Reuters, quoting a statement posted on its Amak propaganda channel, said ISWAP claimed responsibility for the ambush. Moving on now, violence broke out at the PDP headquarters in Abuja, forcing police to fire tear gas to disperse supporters amid an ongoing leadership tussle between rival factions of the party. Chaos broke out at Wadata Plaza as Governor Sheyi Makinde, Bala Mohammed, and the Turaki-led executive arrived, triggering clashes with police and supporters of Senator Anyanwu's faction who tried to block their entry. Earlier, heavy security was deployed to the PDP national headquarters in Abuja as 2 rival factions, each claiming authentic leadership of the party, prepared to hold separate meetings at the same location. The Anyanwu-led NWC first arrived at the PDP national headquarters, with Anyanwu insisting he remains the party's national secretary until his tenure expires in December, and settling into his office despite the brewing leadership dispute. When asked whether he invited the security operatives who had barricaded major sections outside the premises, Anyanwu confirmed that he did. He explained that it is the PDP's usual practice to call in security personnel whenever a meeting of such magnitude is scheduled in order to maintain law and order. A PDP chieftain The PDP chieftain Samuel Anyanwu has also blamed the PDP Governors Forum for the deepening crisis within the party. Anyanwu, who spoke on Channels Television, said he will not take responsibility for the party's troubles, insisting PDP governors caused the instability. He said some founding members had left due to the party's condition, adding that the governors had once proposed that he amended constitution recognize the adding that the governors had once proposed that the amended constitution recognize the Governors Forum as an organ of the party. Anyanwu, who described himself as a custodian of the party, said most governors were practicing backyard politics. He said they should not ruin the party just because they provide funds for the party. Well, still on the PDP internal crisis, former Governor of Kaduna State Ahmed Makarfi has resigned as PDP Secretary Board of Trustees, insisting that the party must uphold its zoning principle. The PDP elected a former Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Kabiru Turaki, as its national chairman on Saturday. In a letter on Monday addressed to Adolphus Nwabara, the PDP BOT chairman, Makarfi, said he could not remain in office because Turaki is also from the Northwest. We go on a quick break. When we return, you will hear ASU warning of nationwide university shutdown as negotiations stalls. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Now, exactly 2 months after the state of emergency was lifted in River State, a political analyst, Justice Chimeme Williams, says the state is operating in what he described as a post-emergency state. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire, Williams said residents have become uncertain about his actions and intentions since the conclusion of the emergency rule.
I categorize River State today into three. Pre-state of emergency, then emergency, and post-emergency. Now, pre-declaration of emergency, Governor Fubara, we believe, was the best thing that happened to River State. Then, we saw the work Governor Fubara was doing. He was bent on changing the narratives. Post-emergency state is where we are now. The Governor Fubara we knew during pre-emergency state, it's not the same Fubara we are seeing now. That's the governance, in my understanding, is dead.
Williams also questioned the House of Assembly's inactivity. He added that despite reports that the governor has forwarded the list of commissioner nominees, the Assembly has still not reconvened to review or approve the names.
The House of Assembly or the legislature should be seen to be working. House of Assembly, have you heard them sit? First time they sat was they talked about representing budget and submitting names of
commissioners
to probe a bus, and then afterwards they went to sleep. Is that governance? Have you heard that he has submitted the list of commissioners? What is holding the full composition of the River State Executive Council? This state of emergency, all the things they say Elbas did, blah blah blah, they are going to probe. Are we hearing anything? So move on. Let the state move on. You don't have to remain in the era of state of emergency.
The lawyer urged the state's leaders to retrace their steps, stressing that residents are in need of genuine leadership and to avoid turning every issue in the state into a political battle.
Rivers leaders, House of Assembly or the legislature, the executive, and the people who are behind them should realize that the Rivers people are expecting governance. States have to move on in Rivers State. It's not only Rivers State that is in this country that from beginning of the tenure to the end of tenure is politics. The moment INEC say electioneering program have started, Nigerian politicians think less of governance. That is why it is expected that the first 2 years of the 4 do governance. The moment they say primaries have started, forget governance.
Still staying with River State, the State Police Command says it has begun investigating the cause of the fire that destroyed a makeshift building behind the Captain Elijah Amadi Polytechnic on Sunday. Police spokesperson Grace Iringikoko told her correspondent Mekotuka that the children's mother is being questioned after allegations that she locked her children inside the room before going out at night. Iringikoko confirmed that the 2 of the children, aged between 5 and 9, were burned to death. She warned residents against leaving minors alone at home and assured that the outcome of the investigation will be made public. Now, earlier, an eyewitness said 2 out of the 4 children locked in by their mother were awake and tried to save their younger siblings who were sleeping, but the heat was too much and they had to run out.
They were sleeping and their mother locked them inside house and went to buy something. So I don't know whether the mother put candle. So we don't know how the fire take enter the house. He has run away. We don't see the woman and his children is here. He has 4 children. 2 escaped, 2 died.
The eyewitness also narrated how the fire started and how residents of the building could not recover any of their property as the fire spread through the building, which houses 27 families.
So we couldn't pick anything out from the house. We had to run for our life so that the fire will not reach us. Even my daughter is in the church, is naked. No slippers, no pants, nothing. Yes, I lost my money, I lost my POS, my phone, because we used to do POS in Stadium Road. I have like 50,000 POS, then physical money was 20,000.
It was also gathered that neighbors who had previously had a misunderstanding with the children's mother allegedly did not step in to help and also lost their own belongings as the fire spread through the building, which houses 27 families. And now we move straight to education. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has warned that it will resume its nationwide strike if an agreement is not reached with the federal government at the expiration of its one-month ultimatum. ASU Kano Zonal Coordinator Abdul Kadir Mohammed gave the warning on Monday in Kano during a news conference after the zone's meeting. Mohammed decried what he described as a sluggish approach to renegotiating key agreements aimed at revitalizing Nigeria's public university system. The lecturers in October suspended their warning strike with a month-long ultimatum to the federal government to meet their demands, which centered around their welfare and providing a conducive teaching and learning environment. And now, away from that, Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has convicted and sentenced the suspended Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of Calabar, Professor Cyril Ndefong, to 5 years imprisonment without an option of fine. Delivering judgment on Monday, Justice Omotosho held that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission proved the evidence in counts 1 and 2 beyond reasonable doubt against him. Also, Justice Omotosho berated Ndefong's immoral conduct. He said his randy nature should be condemned by all. According to the judge, he is a disgrace to the community of learned persons and must be made to face the wrath of the law. In business, Nigeria's trade with other African nations increased by 14% in the first half of the year, following the government's effort to strengthen regional ties. A Bloomberg report quoting the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Services, Bashir Adeniyi, said trade with the continent increased by 600 billion naira to 4.82 trillion naira in the 6 months through June. According to Bashir, it reflects the country's growing role as a hub for intracontinental trade and value chains. In entertainment, comedian Mr. Jollof has apologized for his role in a fight with Very Dark Man on a United Nigeria Airlines flight. In a video on Instagram, he expressed regret for the incident, saying he's not a violent person and was defending himself. He apologized to the airline, passengers, his wife, kids, and boss. In sports, boxing expert Steve Burns says Anthony Joshua was given an offer he simply couldn't refuse to fight Jake Paul. Britain's Joshua, the former two-time unified heavyweight champion, will take on YouTuber turned boxer Paul at Kaseya Center in Miami on 19 December.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Aid agencies have reiterated calls for Israel to allow more tent and urgently needed supplies into Gaza after the first heavy winter rainfall. They say more than 250,000 families need emergency help with shelters. Secretary General of the Norwegian Refugee Council, Jan Egeland, says children and families will die if nothing is done.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this afternoon, you heard Army Chief has visited Kebbi State and has ordered troops to intensify the rescue of the 25 abducted schoolgirls. There was confusion at the PDP headquarters. Police fired tear gas to disperse rioting supporters. We also told you that the police say it is investigating and interrogating a mother after a fire killed 2 children in River State. ASU has warned that it will resume its nationwide strike if an agreement is not reached with the federal government at the expiration of its one-month ultimatum. On the foreign scene, aid agencies ask for Israel to allow more tent and urgently needed supplies into Gaza after the first heavy winter rainfall. The news was edited by Martha Okiri. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili. Many thanks for listening.